I hope that at some point in this country, we do have a conversation about what is happening, because we can't just react when it is our side. What was this again? It was, a 20-year-old lone wolf, white, whack job.
Good morning and welcome to the Leftist Losers Show, where we point out all of the losers of the left. And today I got a clip from The View for you guys. Of course, immediately after the attempted assassination on Donald Trump over this weekend on Saturday, The View, immediately upon their next show, had to go ahead and jump on to the defensive side of the Biden team and begin peddling the crappy ideas that they are always pushing, essentially trying to spin the narrative into it being basically, just a white supremacist Republican who is just was already an evil person because of those things, and so therefore it shouldn't be surprising that he, attempted to do this to Donald Trump. And it's absolutely disgusting to see these people do this. I mean, should we be surprised? No, The View has always, pushed garbage ideas from the clown world that they inhabit. But it's despicable, and it deserves to be called out, and so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and watch this clip. I'm going to point out all of the things that are just garbage from them, and exactly why these people shouldn't be trusted, and why they are actually evil. They call Donald Trump evil. They call him Hitler, which is not a fair comparison considering Hitler killed 13 million people. But these people are openly willing to do that all the time, and then they want to sit here and act shocked and pretend like they're the righteous people on the high road who are so surprised that this would happen, and they feel so badly for the families, even though they constantly wish these things upon people and spread lies and hate all the time, which they're actually about to do in this segment as well. Just watch. Pay attention, very close attention to the words they emphasize whenever they're describing the shooter and what happened, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get started.
And you might have noticed political violence when a would-be assassin narrowly missed former President Trump during a Pennsylvania rally. In case you haven't seen this, watch it.
Take a look at what happened.
Get down. Shooters down. Are we good to move? We're clear. Watch out.
Wait.
Can I just go ahead and point out real quick that this, when he stood up and threw his fist in the air, and just to give you an example of why, Trump supporters aren't looking at him as some god emperor, what is the thing that they chanted? Did they chant Trump over and over and over again? Like, because he's no, they chanted USA, because what really matters is the country, and what the people in this crowd really care about is the country and the community that we're all a part of, and what they're hoping for is a leader who will push this community in the direction of prosperity and peace. And they believe Donald Trump is that guy. And so when he stands up still alive and safe and pumps his fist in the air, showing defiantly that he's still going to fight on and continue to try to win this campaign, no matter what tries to, stop him, they start chanting USA, USA, because that's what matters. That's what's important, the country and the community, and trying to make this a better place for all of us. And I think that's really something we should all focus on.
Trump was injured. Former fire chief and father of two, Corey Compertor, was killed. Two more attendees were wounded, but they're in stable condition, thank goodness. President Biden spoke about it from the Oval Office last night. Take a look.
Want to speak?
Before we jump into his statement, I want to go ahead and say I'm going to be posting the GoFundMe for all of the victims of this shooting in the description. So if you want to donate to help out the family of the man who's killed, Corey, please go ahead and click that link and donate whatever you can. I think they're already in the millions of dollars, so they're doing really well. I think this also goes to help the other guys that were hit as well. So yeah, if you feel like you want to donate, please do so. Like I said, the link will be down below, and you really should. And if nothing else, if you don't want to donate, you should at least give the post that the daughter of the man who was killed made, talking about her father. It's extremely heartfelt. It will bum me out a little bit. It is sad, but this man was a true hero. He was a true American hero, 1,000%. Not because he was a Trump supporter or he was at the rally, but what he did in his lifetime, being a volunteer firefighter and a fire chief, and the fact that he, as a man, was willing to throw himself just out of instinct, because there was no time to think, just out of instinct, threw himself over his family and sacrificed his life to protect his family. I think every man, no matter their political affiliation, wonders all the time on whether they'd be willing to do that or able to do that. And I think that's something to strive to. And we should applaud this man and help his family, because they deserve it. They deserve it because he, if nothing else, earned that for them. And So anyways, yeah, the link will be down below. Let's continue.
Tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, or for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized.
I think we all.
Yeah, it's funny that, you know, again, this is so frustrating coming, especially from people like Biden who've been calling Trump an existential threat. I mean, he gave that speech not too long ago where he was standing in front of a blood red lit room with Marines standing behind him at either flank, like he's some kind of emperor with his Praetorian guard behind him, and how he was talking about how Trump and the MAGA movement are existential threats to the country and they must be stopped, and how they're going to destroy America and democracy and all this garbage nonsense that was spewing out of his mouth. And it's like, you guys do that, you create that imagery, and then you wonder why a 20-year-old kid would be motivated to do something like he did. And sorry, he's not a kid, he's an adult. He's a 20-year-old adult. But you got to think about it like this. This guy was 20, right? That means that when he was 12 was when Donald Trump was entering the scene of politics. And since this kid was 12 years old, I'm going to keep saying kid because it's just, sorry, habit. When this guy was 12 years old, and since he was 12 years old, he's been hearing nothing but how evil Trump is and all the crazy nonsense that they've been spewing in the mainstream media, which as a 12-year-old, you're probably going to look at the mainstream media and just assume that they're the ones telling the truth because they're the establishment. It would only make sense when you're 12, right? You don't know any better. So I don't know why these people want to pretend like they're surprised. I should say, I know why they want to pretend like they want to be surprised. They're trying to, take the high road and act like they're the virtuous ones. But the reality is, these people have been hoping for this with their fingers crossed for a long time. I don't have any proof of that. That's speculation. But just going off of the things they say constantly and the way they act, I don't know what else they would want. I mean, this is the logical conclusion of calling a man Hitler and comparing him to somebody who killed 13 million people would be that you're hoping somebody stops him in any way possible, including what this 20-year-old tried to do. And it's disgusting. These people are evil, and it needs to be called out, which is what we're doing here today.
All agree with Biden, right? And Trump said that he's rewriting his RNC speech to call for unity also. So they're both trying to lower the temperature. Is that even possible, ladies?
Well, first and foremost,
No, I mean, yes, it is possible if you guys come to us. This is the stupid thing, right? Is the left wants everyone to bend the knee to their ideology, and if they're not, they will be canceled and excised from society, called Hitler, deemed evil, told they're terrible. There's no compromising with the left. They don't accept compromise ever. They don't. They never do. And they will demonize you and make you the enemy when the right is usually the ones who are trying to debate ideas and are compromising all the time, which is why the Republicans look so weak all the time, is because they're always compromising and trying to make things work and making backroom deals. And that's why the left is just stampeding through the country, getting their way on all kinds of stuff, because they don't compromise. And so they just bulldoze everybody else over. And then they play victim, and they do this, where when bad things happen to the other side that are despicable, they go, oh, we're so sorry. We never wanted this to happen. We only told everyone else that doesn't know what's going on, and all the deranged people in the world, because sadly there are deranged people in the world. We just kept telling them how evil you guys are and how you need to be stopped no matter what. We're so shocked and surprised that somebody who was crazy and deranged would have taken what we said and believed it into their heart and then acted on it. That's nuts. No, it's not nuts. You guys did this. It's not. At the end of the day, the shooter is the only one responsible for what happened. He's responsible solely. He made that decision. But these people are manipulating poor, helpless, deranged, crazy people into doing really bad things because they're convincing them of stuff that's not true, and that is evil. That is evil. It's the won't someone rid me of this priest? Excuse me. Situation where, if you ever heard that story, it's the king's walking around his castle basically saying, oh, won't somebody rid me of this priest, just referring to the fact that the priest is being a pain in his ass, and he didn't really want anyone to kill him, or maybe he did, who knows, and his knights, overhearing him saying that, go and kill the priest because they're like, oh crap, well, if we don't do that, he's gonna be pissed at us. And it comes off like one of those situations. It's stupid. These people are evil, man. These people are terrible people.
I want to say thank God that the former president's okay. I applaud Secret Service. Listen, there's going to be some postmortems on what went wrong, but those who rushed the stage to make sure he was okay, because we're milliseconds and millimeters from a very different outcome and a very different conversation we'd be having in our country today. I think it's a moment for reflection on the tone and tenor of our politics. And one thing that is fundamentally American is the right to criticize policies. It is also our right to criticize the character of our politicians.
Sure, but you guys have been spewing hatred and lies for so long, and you refuse to take credit or responsibility, I should say, for any of them at any point in time. And every time somebody on your side does something terrible, you still won't take responsibility and say, well, maybe we shouldn't have said these things. They won't do it. They can't do it. Because the reality is they don't have an argument on policy, as she liked to adequately say at the very beginning of that. We should argue about policies. The left doesn't have policies at all. It's all about power for them. That's all that matters. That's why they'll say whatever they have to say policy-wise to get people to vote for them, like Biden pushing forgiving student loans. He doesn't believe in that or care about that or actually have any plan for that. He's saying that hoping young people will vote for him, because what really matters is that the establishment and these people stay in power. That's it. They don't have policy. And anytime policy is the core central debating point, they lose every single time, because they don't operate on logic. They operate on feelings. These people are clowns, and so that's why they focus on feelings and emotional attacks, and that's why they have to keep ramping it up, because they called Donald Trump Hitler 7 years ago, a year after he started running, probably even before that. I don't even know. I'm just, giving a guess here. They've been calling him that for years, and so when you operate on emotions, the only way to get people to feel motivated by emotions is to continue to ramp it up, and at this point, where else can they go? They can't go anywhere. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you can tell. And now they're squirming and trying their hardest to stay on top, and it's not going to work.
But the way in which we do it matters. And we live in an era where escalatory rhetoric and saying the most damning and most inciting thing oftentimes is what's rewarded. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to just check how we engage. And then looking to the fact that we live in the era of information warfare. On our phones, there are algorithms that are pumping to us information every day meant to make us hate our fellow Americans. Our foreign adversaries are on our social media. They're putting information to validate our worst assumptions about fellow Americans. We can have different political viewpoints in this country, and we can still respect each other.
Sure, I'll give her the point about political or adversaries being on our social media and pushing terrible ideas. I will agree with that. I actually do agree with that. I think that's why TikTok is such a problem. I don't necessarily think we should ban it, but I think it makes perfect sense that if you're China or Russia or Iran or North Korea or whoever, and you look at the United States and physically their geography and the fact that there's a gun behind every blade of grass, I'm sure you guys have heard that phrase before. The United States is practically impregnable. Like, you're not going to invade and beat the United States. In fact, every time anything bad happens to people in the United States, they get super motivated, and we end up winning a lot of battles, right? Like, we haven't won wars in a while because of politicians, but when there's a battle, we sure as hell win that. And so what else can you do? When the United States is top dog on the world stage, what else can you do to try to take them down? And it's to get them to fight themselves, because we're incredibly strong, and that's the easiest way for them to do it. Why wouldn't they do that? It's fifth generational warfare, right? So I agree with her on that. However, she's only bringing this up currently because they've been spewing so much hate. Not necessarily her, but The View, CNN, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, all these hosts that hate Donald Trump with a passion, they have Trump derangement syndrome. They've been spewing garbage for so long that she is now trying to get ahead of the narrative that is now spreading and has been spreading since Saturday. It's been around forever, obviously, but these montages of them calling him Hitler and all these awful things, she's trying to get ahead of that and go, well, that's just the algorithm pushing hate because it wants people to be mad. Nope. That's you guys just laying in the bed that you made, and you don't like it because it's not helping you politically right now. And again, all these people care about is power. And so she's going to squirm and say, and the other people on here as well are going to squirm and say whatever they have to make it work out for them in their favor as far as power goes.
And respect each other's right to different opinions and come together as a country, because the way you defeat America, it's not with bombs, it's not with missiles, it's tearing us apart from within. If you care about democracy, listen more, say less.
So, I'm very happy Donald Trump is safe, full stop, period. And I condemn all forms of political violence. I'm simply heartbroken for the family of Corey Compertoria, a volunteer.
Yeah, whatever, crocodile tears. This lady's full of shit. She doesn't feel any kind of emotions about this at all.
Fire chief, a father, a husband who lost his life shielding his family simply for going to a political rally.
But since that picture was up there, again, I'm posting the GoFundMe for that guy and his family and the other survivors. Well, I shouldn't say other survivors. That man did not survive, sadly. But the other survivors, there's a GoFundMe that's going around to support the families and the people who were injured in the incident on Saturday. Please go donate to that. And if nothing else, please go show them some support. They definitely deserve it. I mean, this guy was a real American hero. You'll read his the post his daughter made about him. And he is what every father should strive to be, from the perspective of his daughter, 1,000%.
And I was watching it live because I thought he was going to announce his VP that day. That was part of what was being said. And I immediately...
Just real quick, if you know anything about, like, tells, she's lying right there. She was not watching. That's why she started stuttering, because she's full of shit. Her producers are telling her what to say, by the way.
Thought it was a shooting. And I was shocked and I was heartbroken because I fled political violence in Nicaragua. And to me, this is something that's not...
She fled political violence, but she's going to go ahead and push the establishment's political violence and, the authoritarian ideas of the Democratic Party, because she's either A, full of shit and making her backstory up, or B, is just the most ignorant person on the planet, or she's just evil and she wants to be the authoritarian this time. She wants to be on that team, I should say.
Supposed to happen in America. I felt the same way when I did watching January 6th. These attacks on democracy, on America, don't happen in this country. They happen in other places. And I'm very happy for President Biden. I'm very happy that he's taking the opportunity to be on air now 3 times, asking us to call on our better angels, asking us to unite, asking us to tamp down the red.
Yeah, that's because he's desperate, because they realize that the fact that someone on their side of the political aisle tried to assassinate the other party's front runner looks horrible, and because there's endless amounts of clips of all of these people and powerful people in the Democratic Party pushing the idea that Trump is literally comparable to a man who killed 13 million people, that's why y'all are doing it. That's why she's doing the little prayer hands and constantly throwing them forward, because she's just like, oh, thank God he took advantage of the situation, because I'm so scared because Trump's now looks so good because he survived, and it sucked. Like, these people are they're so ridiculous, dude. She's put more emphasis on how thankful she is Biden said anything than she is about the fact that people survived the shooting. It's a joke.
Rhetoric. I'm going to try to heed his words. Today is a day, I think, and this entire time, for self-reflection and a call to unity. I truly hope Donald Trump uses the platform he has to do that. And I also need to...
Yeah, he already did that, actually, on X. He made a statement long before Biden said anything, and considering the man was shot, that's pretty ridiculous that Biden, who's just, an old, demented man, couldn't, his staffers couldn't even make a comment. But Trump, who was shot, actually, affected by the event, made a comment on his platform that she's hoping for, saying that there should be unity and that, he's glad everybody's safe. But whatever. This lady's a joke.
To say, I hope that at some point in this country, we do have a conversation about what is happening, because we can't just react when it is our side. What was this again? It was, a 20-year-old lone wolf, white, whack job with easy access.
Did you notice how much emphasis, like I told you to look out for, on the word white? How she had to go, white? Yeah, because that's what they want you to focus on. She's trying to make this about race. She's going to call everyone else racist in the room, everyone else, not in the views room, but just in general, like in the situation of our politics. Everybody else is racist but me, but I'm going to point out that it was his skin color that led him to do this. He was deranged and he was white. No, lady, you're freaking evil. That right there, evil racist person. She should be shamed. We should point and laugh at this lady and let her know that nobody thinks she's a serious person, and we should not take her seriously. She needs to go back to being a nobody, because this is a joke. We're not supposed to support racism in this country, which is hilarious. That's what she's, I believe that personally, that racism is a joke. It's terrible. It's not a good thing, right? Like, someone's skin color has no bearing on how they act as a person at all. It does not. Other than the fact that it might affect who they're around, but that lends itself to their environment is what matters, not their skin color. And the fact that she wants to say that, well, he was white and deranged and put all that emphasis on there is disgusting. She's breeding more hatred because now she's just giving credence to people who want to focus on skin color, who are despicable human beings for doing so, and she's giving them ammunition right here. And that's my point. This whole show right here is a diversion tactic and an attempt to continue to divide people and push more hate. And they don't think so. They put it as tolerance, and they frame it in a way and try to make it sound like, oh, we're so sorry about what happened, but it's just a fault of the Republicans who, remember, Trump, one of them, and the white people. Remember, Trump has a lot of white people that like him, and yeah, they're just so deranged and terrible. No. What happened was you have a kid. Again, he's an adult. When I say kid, I just mean young person. You have a young person who was 20 years old on Saturday when he committed this crime, and he tried to assassinate Trump. That means he would have been 12. Again, 12 years old when Trump came into the political scene, which means since this kid was a 12-year-old, he had been getting nothing but inundated from the establishment with garbage ideas and the narrative that Trump is literally Hitler and all these awful things. And then these people want to act like they're so surprised. And no, it's just because he's white. No, it's just because people like you on your show push hateful, crazy ideas, and then you're surprised when deranged maniacs take it seriously. That's all on you. Excuse me, I had to burp. That's all on these people. Like, it's not their fault that it happened. It's not their responsibility that it happened. But it is a grain of sand on the heap that causes the problem, right? It's the snowflake doesn't blame itself for the avalanche. These people aren't going to blame themselves. I'm not blaming them, but they are adding to the fire. They are pouring gasoline on the fire and then want to pretend like they had nothing to do with it and they didn't contribute at all. Yeah, okay.
Access to a gun. And we have to have a conversation about that, because it wasn't a drag queen. It wasn't an immigrant. It wasn't a pissed off liberal woman.
Nope, it was a nobody who probably doesn't have a political affiliation, but probably trusted you and people like you on establishment news shows and political talking shows, and was probably convinced, because he's mentally unwell, obviously, if he's willing to do this, was probably convinced from all the hateful garbage rhetoric and evil shit that you were spewing out of your mouth for all these years, and then decided, you know what? Somebody's got to stop this guy. I got to do something about this. They've been telling us forever, and nobody's doing anything about it. I'm going to do anything about it. The reason he was registered as a Republican is not because he's a conservative. It's not because he's a Republican or a Trump supporter. He's clearly not a Trump supporter. If you look at what he did Saturday, and then you look at the timing, if he's 20 years old, it means he was only able to vote 2 years ago, which means at most he was able to participate in this primary election that we've had this year and the election of 2022. Now, I don't know what his voting record was in 2022 or if he even voted, but I'm pretty sure he registered as a Republican recently. And on top of that, I do know that it's been confirmed that he donated to Act Blue, which is a Democrat donation group that I know for right now is donating or handing all their money over to the Biden campaign or contributing to the effort of the Biden campaign with their donations. This kid donated to Act Blue before he registered as a Republican. I know that's been confirmed. The mainstream news, who would love to cover that up, has been openly saying that. So, no. If you follow the money, like people like to say, this guy's more likely to be a Democrat or a liberal woman. He might as well be a woman if you looked at him. A liberal than a Republican. And my guess is that based on the fact that he was willing to try to assassinate Trump, he probably was like, well, before I do that, let me register as a Republican, since PA is a closed primary system and you have to register to vote in the primaries, and then I'll try to vote for a different Republican to get rid of Trump. You know, like all the Democrats were bragging about doing for Nikki Haley a few months ago. That's probably what he did. These people are silly, man. They're silly, but you know what? This diversion tactic she's doing, this focus on race and all these awful other things, this is exactly what they're going to do. And all the uninitiated political people who watch The View and have no idea what's going on are probably going to eat this all up, gobble it up, and they're going to go regurgitate it to their, I don't know, their knitting groups or whoever I don't know who the heck watches The View, honestly, besides me trying to freaking yell at these people. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. This is so frustrating. You know, before I would try to keep calm before this happened, but it's just, it's not that I'm not going to be calm. It's just the gloves are off in terms of language. You know, being the neat suit-wearing Republican, that's over. We're done with that. You guys tried to assassinate our candidate, so I'm at least going to shit-talk you and use colorful language whenever you guys are just being extremely ignorant and spewing evil garbage ideas. These people are awful, man. These people are awful. Let's see what else she has to say.
And we need to react, not as left or right, not as Republicans or Democrats. We need to react as Americans.
All right.
And we need to ask better.
Okay, I just want to add that the shooter Yes, he was a 20-year-old kitchen worker from nearby Bethel Park in Pennsylvania. According to a CNN report, a senior law enforcement official said that he bought 50 rounds of ammunition from a local gun store hours before the rally. Shouldn't that have been reported? Somebody buys a 20-year-old white guy? I mean, we've seen that.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is the most unhinged, disgusting thing I've ever heard, and it's because of ignorance, first of all. 50 rounds? Okay, think about what she just said. Shouldn't that have been reported? Oh, 20-year-old white guy bought 50 rounds of ammunition? That had to have gone straight to the CIA. We gotta get fucking... we gotta get fucking Rambo, 007, get them all on it. Get them all on that case, baby. Millions of dollars of taxpayer money, gotta spend it. A white guy just bought 50 rounds of ammunition in PA, dude. Holy crap. In a rural PA county? What's he gonna do with 50 rounds? Nuts. Absolutely nuts. That's insane. Joy Behar is the most ignorant person on the planet. I don't care. She's the dumbest person ever. She knows nothing about firearms, but here she is. She's going to push gun control, everybody. She's going to say, wow, you buy 50 rounds? Straight to jail. Straight to jail. This lady's ridiculous, dude. Okay, look. If any of you have shot guns before, you know 50 rounds is nothing. Okay, a standard AR-15 mag is 30 rounds. Okay, so you can't even fill 2 of those with 50 rounds. A joke. When I go to the gun range to shoot, and I don't shoot very often because I don't have a lot of money to blow on ammo. I wish I did. 100 rounds is like, I don't know, 20 minutes. You know, like it's not that much. It's like 5 mags of ammo. It's really not a lot of practice there. And if you're trying to be, proficient with your weapon, so you're not a danger to everybody else because you don't know what you're doing. 50 rounds is literally nothing. That's a joke. These people are so stupid, man. But you know what? Uninitiated liberal women who watch The View, who know nothing about guns and are terrified of them, are going to go, oh, 50 sounds like a big number. That's terrifying. Oh my God. And they're going to be like, we got to support gun control. And they're going to freak out. And they're going to try to, again, the whole point of this show today is Donald Trump, what happened to him was a tragedy, but he managed to somehow make it beneficial to him with the picture and the standing up. And you know what? He deserves it because the man's a fighter. Like, nothing, if anything else, he just showed how good of a leader he can be. That even with something that tragic happening to him, he still had the bravery and the courage to stand up and raise his fist in the air and let everyone know I'm okay and we're going to keep moving forward. And that's amazing. And they know it. Or at least the producers of this show know it. And so now they're just throwing everything they can out there. Race, try to attach it to the Republican Party, try to say it's just a Trump supporter, so it doesn't matter, it has nothing to do with us, then try to say we need gun control. They're trying to change the conversation because they've got nothing left. I'm not playing any more of their show in this video. These people are clowns. This is the second time I've recorded this, by the way, if you're watching this long. The first time I recorded it, I literally did the same thing I'm doing now, but apparently I let their video play for too long, so my video got blocked by Disney, so that's great. So I'm not giving them any more than what's already on here. Please, if you enjoy this content and like hearing me rant angrily about how ignorant these people are and how evil they are, again, let me reiterate my point about them. They're either evil because they know what they're doing, or they're just really ignorant and stupid. It's one or the other, and neither of them is good for them. So they can pick. I don't know. If they want to be, scot-free of this, then they're just really stupid. But if they know what they're doing and they want to be considered intelligent, then they're evil people because they're spreading lies and just propaganda garbage constantly. But anyways, like and comment, please subscribe. Again, if you like this content, let me know down below. Let me know what I can do to improve. Or tear me apart in the comments. I'm fine with that too. I like the engagement. So I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be back later for another video as long as Disney doesn't make me record this for a third time. And I appreciate all of you guys. Peace.